If you're a Trump supporter, you might back his economic policies. But have you ever stopped to wonder, do you know what economic theory you're really supporting? Let me throw this out there. Trump's policies might be more Keynesian than you think. Now, before we dive in, let's clear up what Keynesian economics is all about. It's not as complicated as it sounds. The basic idea is that during tough times, like recessions, the government should step in to help out. This could mean lowering taxes, increasing spending on things like infrastructure, or even sending out stimulus checks. Basically, putting more money in people's pockets to boost the economy. So, how does this connect to Trump? Well, let's think about some of his biggest economic moves. For example, in 2017, Trump passed huge tax cuts, which gave both businesses and individuals more money to spend. That's one Keynesian move. Tax cuts can increase demand, which helps the economy grow. Then, in 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Trump administration passed massive stimulus bills. Checks went out to American families, unemployment benefits were expanded, and the government spent big to keep businesses afloat. That's exactly what Keynesian economics would prescribe during a crisis. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, 2017. Reduced corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, which aimed to stimulate investment and consumer spending. CARES Act, 2020. $2.2 trillion in stimulus spending, direct payments to Americans, and financial aid to industries affected by the pandemic. Now, here's where things get interesting. Trump's brand is often about less government interference and traditional conservative values. But some of these policies, like the massive government spending, are actually quite Keynesian, which is more associated with economic liberals or progressives. So here's the twist. Trump voters might be backing more government intervention than they realize. So what do you think? Is that a contradiction? Or is it just good economic strategy, regardless of political labels? This leads me to the question, do Trump voters actually support these Keynesian economic ideas? Or is there a gap between what people think Trump's policies are and what they actually are? Do Trump voters even know what Keynesian economics is, and would they support it if they did? It's easy to say you're for lower taxes and a strong economy, but what happens when that involves big government spending? Would that change anyone's mind? It's interesting how political labels don't always line up with economic reality. Republicans are typically known for favoring smaller government, but even under Trump, we saw some pretty big government actions when the economy needed it most. This blurs the line between traditional left-wing and right-wing economic approaches. Are Trump's policies really conservative economics, or do they show a more pragmatic approach that borrows from all sides? So, whether you support Trump or not, it's worth asking, how much do you actually know about the economic policies you back? And does it matter if those policies don't fit neatly into a political box? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Trump's policies were more Keynesian than people realize? And if so, does that change the way you see his presidency?